What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Gamer Credits. This is going to be season 2, level 3. Let's introduce the players. Player number 1, BP.
Oh, I'm player number 1 again now. Awesome. What up,
Yeah,
kid?
y'all complained so much last time, so I figured I'd switch it back up.
But was it really so much? I don't think so. It was actually a nice touch, man. I actually respected it.
Well, I got a lot of pushback, so I switched it back. Maybe next time.
All right.
Player number 2, Captain Starchild.
How's it going, everybody? That was it.
That's it. Okay, I like
Yeah,
it. Short and
you just
sweet.
let that
What's
dead
up,
air
Star?
keep going, man.
You good, Star? Everything good?
Oh yeah, everything's great, man. How you
All
doing?
right. Yeah, man. I'm chilling.
Like a villain or just chilling?
Nah, just chilling, man. The villain part comes like maybe tomorrow or something. Friday's a good day
Okay.
to get into mischief and trouble.
Yeah, that's when
All
that
right, I'm
bat
up.
sign hits the sky and Batman shows up.
I'm gonna hold you to
That
it.
too.
And of course, player number 3 is your boy Kid Dream.
Hey kid, how you been?
Hey, you know.
That's
He
that's
sounds
not
super relaxed right now, doesn't
yeah,
he?
that's not an answer right there. But
I think that's actually answer enough, man. The fact that he's so
oh
chill
yeah,
right
we
now.
should leave it alone.
You
Yeah,
know,
okay.
what I'm getting. Yeah, you know what I'm getting at.
So, before we get into these wonderful, wonderful topics, what's everybody's gaming moment of the week?
You want
You
to go
can
first, Star? Or?
no, you can skip me. I have nothing this week.
Come
I
on,
mean, I did
man.
play Ghost.
Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima. How you say it?
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima.
hmm
I just want
Yeah.
to make sure because I got teased one time before when I said it. But yeah,
Ooh,
oh, this is one of my buddies. But I basically I'm just playing the multiplayer. I don't own the full story. And the more I play the multiplayer, I think I might end up playing the full, I guess, one person. What do you call it? The single player
single
campaign.
player? You
Oh.
need to.
I might.
Oh.
I do like the game. I am in the like for me when I first heard about UBP playing it and of
mhm.
course Kid, I kind of like didn't think that was my type of game. It just didn't feel like a game that I will ever pick up. But the multiplayer got me to thinking like, oh, this is fun. So cool. Thank you, for making that multiplayer. You should
Wow.
put multiplayer in mini games. It's and that's a whole nother topic.
I did
Yeah,
not see that coming, but that's great. That's great news, everybody.
that
Okay.
is. That
Look
is
forward to
definitely
that.
great news.
Nice.
Well, how about you? What was your gaming moment, kid?
Oh, me? Oh, okay. I guess I'll go. It's a great question. I got back into a mobile game that I played a lot last year, and I kind of got burnt out, so I put it down for a few months. But the
Candy Crush?
past, no, God, no, jeez, no,
Hey,
no,
man,
no.
ain't nothing wrong with Candy Crush, man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. Uh, but it's actually a game about an anime, the Seven Deadly Sins. Um,
Hmm.
Heard of that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually really really fun. It's one of those gotcha games, kind of like Genshin Impact, where you got to roll for different characters and stuff like that.
Uh,
But they are really generous. I have yet to spend a dime, and I have quite a bit of characters. It just by playing the game, so I do like that. I do like that.
Okay. So
all right, all right.
not so egregious a gotcha game, right?
I don't think so. I mean, I haven't made it to, like the end game, so I'm sure when you get to that stuff and the end game PvP, then you probably will have to pull out your wallet if you want to be competitive. But I mean, just for me right now, it's more than enough.
Hey, that's cool. That's cool, man.
All right. Will you recommend that game to any of us?
Um, See y'all. Well, okay. Star Child is more into anime. BP, on the other hand, I feel like he probably wouldn't like it.
Hey, man, I'm
Um,
offended right now. Very offended.
just being honest. I'm just
Hey,
being
man,
honest.
listen. Okay, I know I've taken a break from anime, but I still like it.
All right.
Well, I listen. Then give it a chance. Seven Deadly
Okay.
Sins, Grand Cross.
Okay. I might have to do that, sir, just because I feel like, you put me
Ah,
on blast, you know.
got a point to
So
prove. Okay, I like
yeah,
it. I
yeah,
like it.
you know how I operate, man. We've been down this road. You throw something out there like that, I gotta prove you wrong. So
Actually,
Oh,
he
please.
just probably I don't know, did he bait you or did I bait you? Because I don't want that brought it up. But
You
yeah,
kinda
now
Yeah,
we
I
did.
mean, you probably
yeah,
both are working
yeah.
in
So now
cahoots
Star
to
has
do
to
each other.
download it too.
Yeah, pretty much. See how we did? We backed our well, I can't say we backed ourselves in the corner, but yeah, that
Yeah,
just
we
happened.
did. Yeah. Cool. I'll try
Awesome.
it. So what's
But
going on
BP.
with you? Yeah, BP.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot about me. So, two things actually. I actually got back into playing Halo Infinite recently.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
Single
because I
player
never
or
beat it.
multiplayer?
Single. I hadn't even tried multiplayer yet. I just, I don't know, man. Because like, listen, I thought about it, but when I got back into the single player, ooh, man, I was pretty much getting beat down.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is, man. Because I mean, I used to be really good at Halo, but I don't know, man. It's like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I had my moments where I was, doing pretty good. I was, using the grapple hook really well and some, hitting some combos off and shooting, like kind of like doing a little John Wick style action. But I don't know, man. There's something about those shield guys, man. Like those shield guys, I just don't remember them being so just, I don't want to say difficult, because I'm sure all the people out there be like, oh, new, such a new, but I just don't remember them being so
Ah,
durable with the shields. Like it's like I remember I was shooting one of them, and I'm like, wait a minute, I done emptied like a full clip, and you didn't even like move. So thought that
yeah.
was interesting. Um, and getting killed, and it was also and it's always fun getting killed by like random explosions too. That was great.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah, of course.
yeah, just out of nowhere, like, well, okay, we're doing that, great. And the other thing is playing the new Switch Sports game with my son.
Oh,
Okay.
nice. What do
Yeah,
you think
that's.
of that? Because I have not played it yet, but I did bought it. So
Oh, you did buy it? Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's fun, man. It's really fun. Like it's kind of like we haven't played the soccer thing yet, one yet, because I think it's the way it's set up is we both have to have our own controller. Like uh, the controller that splits into two. Like we both have to have one, I think,
Oh,
to
okay.
play it.
So
So,
the
but
Joy-Con.
yeah, Joy-Cons. I'm sorry. There you go. Should have asked you the name before I made a fool of myself just now. But anyway, uh,
You can call it
yeah, I know, right?
remotes. We'd be all right with that.
Yeah, you're right. I should have, but but no, but it was fun, man. I mean, like the bowling was fun. My son is beating me in my wife in that now, and I mean, he's really good at all of it. And I'm like, it literally just came out. Like, what's going on? Like,
Now,
I
what's
don't.
his technique? Is he actually using full movement to make it seem like he's bowling, or he's just
Is he?
like flipping his wrist type of thing?
No, he's full motion.
Okay.
Like he's literally there, either bowling or using swords or playing badminton. He's there.
All right.
So much so that we have to kind of keep telling him, hey, there's a TV there. Just to give you a little heads up, buddy.
And make sure he got the straps around his wrist so you don't throw those things.
Here's the thing,
Oh, God.
we those are, and that's the funny you mentioned that because actually we can't find them, and that's
Oh.
happened a couple of times
Mm.
where the controller went flying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So so it's been an interesting experience, but that aside, it's been fun. It's been really fun. I
The
recommend
cool
it,
Good.
Yeah, I
and I'm
would say
not
the
endorsed
cool
by
thing,
Nintendo or
man.
anything, but it's
Yeah, so
fun.
the cool thing about that game, the reason why I got it, because I remember when it came out on the Wii, and
Hmm.
that game, I mean, for how simple it was, I mean, the golfing and the tennis and the whatever else was on there, it brought the family together, and
It did.
to me, that was memories made. And
You're right. You're right. And I just got some semblance of that. Like, but yeah, it's fun. You should try it out
cool,
too,
man.
kid.
Uh, I actually kind of want to because I was excited when I saw they were making that or releasing that. I didn't play a lot of the original Wii Sports. Funny enough, I never had a Wii.
What?
I
Wow.
never had a Wii. I
Oh,
know. I know.
this
Uh,
episode is full of surprises.
it is. It is. And so I never
Yeah.
played a lot of the Wii Sports, but it always seemed fun. And I played a little bit of it. So if it ever goes on sale one of these days, I might pick it up.
Hey, kid, I think you did yourself a disservice, man. You gotta somehow find a Wii console and just yeah, you need to go ahead and get some games on the Wii, man. I
Yeah.
guess you can emulate them. I don't know. I won't suggest that all over this mic on this podcast,
Yeah, please
but
don't. We don't need Nintendo like knocking down
no,
our doors.
we can
You hear
edit
that,
that
Nintendo?
out.
He didn't mean it. He was just joking.
Oh
It's
God.
jokes.
Man, I had some great moments with that system, man. It's Yeah, yeah.
You still got it?
Gave it to my nephews. They
Got
have it.
you.
They also have my Wii U, so they better take care of both of those systems.
All
Well
right.
said, sir. Well said.
Pretty aggressive. Okay.
I ain't just
Yeah, very
threatening. I ain't
aggressive,
just
but you know
threatening
what?
my nephews over this thing. Right?
I mean, a little bit, but it's okay. It's all right.
Yikes!
It, but you know what? I think I still have mine, kid. So, in fact, I think I still have that in the Wii Sports. So I might be
There
able to
you
just,
go.
yeah, I might, I might have to give you a talking to like Star over here. Make sure you don't damage it or anything. But
No, I was gonna say. I thought you was gonna be like, "Hey, I'm gonna invite everyone over to the house, and so that we can play it." But you want him just to play Wii Sports by himself? That's not fun.
yeah. I mean, you ain't coming over here. No, I'm kidding.
Dang. Dang. Y'all heard it here
Just playing,
first.
man. Just playing, man.
Dang.
You good. You good. You're right. That's a good point, Star. We have to figure something out.
Yeah.
You know, this is a really hard conversation. It kind of reminds me of first topic. BP, don't you think?
Hmm.
Yes, indeed, sir. I know where you're going with this. So, are we going to talk about it now? Let's do it.
Where am I going with this?
And he's referring to, ladies and gentlemen, the conversation we were having off air about Souls games or Souls-like games, and whether we believe in easy mode ruins the experience or not. If From Software, for example, decide to add easy mode to Elden Ring, for example, like would it ruin it? Would it ruin the entire experience of the game as it was intended to be?
So, what's
So,
your thoughts on it?
so we're gonna just start off the bat. Okay.
Oh yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. So I'll start off by saying that as a person who plays Sekiro, and I love Sekiro, I wouldn't change anything about it, right? Um, I don't necessarily, for myself, and I'm speaking for myself, I wouldn't necessarily really need or care for easy mode to be added to the game. Um, but with that said, I will say that I wouldn't really have an issue if they did decide to add easy mode to the game, because I don't think it really would ruin the experience. I know that's probably gonna be an unpopular opinion, and feel free to come at me. It's all good. But I just feel like unless there's actual tangible evidence that shows me that it would ruin the game, I don't see how it would. And I
Have
know
you
that.
witnessed any proof of that from any other games that have an easy mode available in day one? Have you noticed that the game seems to suck because there's also an easy mode?
No. And I know that with the From Software games, for example, the Souls-like games, as it were, I know that it's kind of a different argument with those because those were specifically designed with those challenges in mind.
Hmm.
Even the From Software developers came out and said that, they gave a reason why they didn't think to ever add an easy mode because they feel like the whole purpose that they intended for the game is to create that, a challenge, the sense of great satisfaction for a person finishing it, like beating the game or beating that boss that they've died to like 50 or 60 times.
Yeah.
And, they're not wrong. I mean, there's a good, measure of like fulfillment that you can get from overcoming such odds and obstacles and stuff like that. And there's a lot of benefit to get to learn a mechanic and, like enough so to where you can, advance into the game. But with my approach to the easy mode, let's say for example, because again, I don't for what it's worth with the easy mode, I don't believe that it should be added as a matter of just making it easy for people to just like pass the game, right? Like just it's too hard. Let me get an easy mode, and I'll just pretend like I'm God for a second and just crush everything, right? But I look at it from some arguments that I've seen out there when it results to people who want to just play it for this, just for the experience of the story, the lore, to follow the characters, do the story progression, and just to kind of sit back and just watch as the story
It's a
unfolds.
cool game. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you still
So
want to play it. Yeah.
right. And it's crazy because I've seen people argue the fact of, well, easy mode would change all of that stuff. It would change the dialogue. It would change, like everything. And not only that, they would argue that, if you can't get good enough to overcome those challenges, then you don't deserve to progress, through the story. And I
Yeah.
thought that was really a weird statement to make. It's like the mechanic is there, the difficulty is there to create that sense of fulfillment, not necessarily to award you with the story. I think the story is more of the afterthought.
Yeah.
It's really the challenge and mechanics that are on display. That speaks to the purpose of the game. So I don't know. I just thought that whole argument was weird for those who really actually did want to experience the story and not really get so caught up in the challenge itself that they would have to like really, spend a lot of time for it, or just, go to some other game and just play that and settle for that. So I don't know. It's weird.
It's
Just
definitely weird, but at the same time, though, I think that the discussion needs to be had because, like you said
mhm,
before, you got two separate camps. One camp feels like if you're gonna make a game difficult, then keep it as is because that game is meant for a certain demographic of people who enjoy those type of difficulties.
yeah,
What would a easy mode even look like for a Souls game, kid? Like, what's your
good
take
question
on
too.
that? Like, I don't even understand an easy mode for a Souls game.
Hmm.
I mean, that's the good thing about modern video games is that it's really adjustable, and we've seen with a lot of different games that have variable difficulty. There's a lot that could adjust from the amount of enemies that they throw at you
Hmm.
to the health of the enemies and the bosses, even down to the mechanics. Maybe in hard mode or normal boss does this and that and this, but then in easy it only does that and this. So it's
Yeah.
uh
I
it's
want to say
definitely
one thing, kid. Your connection, you sound like I used to sound back in the day. What's going on, man? Did
God.
we swap carriers? What's happening here?
No, is it still bad or?
It's
Mm,
it's okay. I can hear you, but it's not your clearest signal.
yeah, it does seem like it's coming in like speeding up a little bit and robotic, but
Alright, give me 1 second.
okay.
Okay.
So while he's kind of looking into that, kind of can just step back in real quick to say, like, you know, I think when people make that argument of the easy mode, right? They're really arguing from the sense of their perspective of what makes the game special for them,
Hmm.
And I like to liken it to, people who go out and buy like Gucci, or like other designer, apparel or just other, products in general, just premium products in general. Like,
Labels, yeah.
yeah, it's like the idea behind it is we're getting it for that sole purpose of status or like a symbol of success that I like to remind myself of by looking at this particular item. And the idea that the company could come out and say, hey, we really want to start making things that are, material that's affordable, but don't worry, we still are going to provide those premium products. I think people would take that as degrading the overall quality of the premium products, right?
Yeah.
They may not, because that might draw the appeal away from the Gucci bag. Where if they said, "Oh, we're gonna make everyday Gucci bags for everybody," it's like, "Oh no!" Like, I came to you to get this because it was premium. It's like not a whole
Yep.
lot of people in the world could get it, and I'm one of the fortunate few. And to that end, is like if you want to make that argument, that's fine. I think the issue I have when it came to them arguing about the easy mode and how it ruins the game is that it's almost like they're kind of throwing that out there because they're so passionate with their own perspective about it that they feel like that should be like the law, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's the issue that I have is that you can be passionate about something and feel a certain kind of way about something and that even feel that it ruins the game. But I think if you're projecting that on other people by saying, hey, you're just a scrub that doesn't deserve to play this game, I think that's essentially the thing that they very well accuse the people who don't like the game of doing, and that's gatekeeping. It's
Yeah.
like you're literally stating to people that, oh, you're a piece of trash because you can't play this game a certain way that I believe it should be played or that the developers believe it should be played. Now, the developers making that choice of not adding the easy mode, I'm okay with that. As I said, in the beginning, I don't have a problem with them never adding it. That's fine. I like the games as they are. But again, I do understand, I'm a person that likes to look at all the arguments. And all I kept hearing from people who said easy mode ruin it, it'll just completely just break and demolish. I mean, demolish everything. I just looked at it like, yeah, I mean, I think that's just an emotional reaction you're having because of what you're tied to the game. You're not. I don't think that's really a rational
It's
stance
not
on it,
no
unless you
logic
show,
behind it. Yeah.
yeah, unless you kind of show evidence or the developers even themselves come out and say, hey, look, here's footage of how the game was and how it's intended. Now look, when we do these tweaks to make it easy, to make an easy level of it, then I can be like, all right, cool. There's tangible evidence. But until then, I'm like, I don't buy all that.
Yeah. I myself, I'm not a fan of the Souls games. Um,
Mm.
to me,
Snap.
the games the games look amazing. I mean, I can sit back and watch someone play the game all day long, but I have a hard time learning how to play certain styles of games in Dark Souls and any of those other Soul games. It's the technique or the mechanic behind it. I don't have the patience. And that's the thing. Like I want to still play the game, but it's not like I don't want to say I need to get good and I want to take the time to get good. I just don't have that type of level of patience to get as good as the game needs me to be in its current state. So to me, I won't call it an easy mode because I don't know what an easy mode can be in a Souls game, but they should still make the game where you can have a learning curve to it where if you're not as good as some other players, there's certain mechanics that can give you a certain type of, extra health or some type of, like you said, a quick god mode moment or a shortcut moment, just for certain people to take advantage of. Not everyone needs to use it, but just those who still want to play, but also get, a
Well,
chance to get past or bypass certain, crazy mechanics that makes it harder to even get through the game.
well, it does. More specifically, Elder Ring. It does kind of have things like that. By the way, how do I sound? Better? Worse?
Yep, you
Yeah,
sound way
much better.
better.
Hmm.
Okay, good. It does kind of have things like that. Like in the start of the game, you can pick a starting item and you can choose to pick like nothing or or and stuff
See?
like that, or you could choose to pick an item that gives you an extra healing potion, basically. Um, Also, there's different play styles. So like I know in like Demon's Souls, I think it was, the magic play style was, dubbed the easy mode kind of the game because you could just kind of stand back and just throw spells at people and watch all your enemies die.
Mhm.
So it is kind of built into it. Also, like with Elden Ring, it's big on exploration. So it's like if you want to go explore the map and find all the items to upgrade your healing and to do stuff like that, you definitely could. So it does kind of sort of have those things built in. It's just how you want to play. Do you want to go do those things, or do you want to just tackle that boss the way you are now? It's kind
Was
of up to you.
So that brings the next question. Are they doing a disservice? I don't know why I keep using disservice a lot, but are they doing a disservice to themselves when they advertised, well, if the community advertised this game as being as hard as it is, when the way you just explained it is technically not. You do have some actual mechanics in the game that gives you some type of, easy mode properties.
Well,
Yeah, well, that's the funny thing
it's
because
still
people
hard.
argue. What's that? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it is still hard,
Yeah,
even with
yeah.
all that.
But it's interesting because some people do have made that argument too, where they say, well, to see that's the thing, and that's why there's not really a need for the easy mode because if you go to the right spots, and not only that, but they have a community of people who you reach out to that can give you the tips on saying, hey, you just go, you know, uh, get these weapons or do this build or something like that, and it turns into easy mode. You can
That's the
actually start.
part.
Mhm.
That's the part I don't have time for. I don't have time to do all this research and just to play a game. So that's my problem with certain games where I have to then go do a whole bunch of studying to learn how to get through a map or how to be a certain boss. It's like that's that might be my only hang up with the game.
Well, and to be fair on that end, though, I mean, because remember back in the days, like you remember how it was not as easy as it is now to like pull up YouTube or even reach out to a person easily enough to say, hey, how do I get past this part? Like because back then, like we had those guides like in magazines,
Oh
gaming
yeah.
magazines and things like that. Um, so with that said, because Ninja Gaiden, for example, I mean, well, it's a side scroller. I mean, you didn't really have much as far as like difficulty as far as matching it with like a Souls game, for example. But
But you can still call
still,
the 800 number from Nintendo and someone will answer and walk you through certain parts of
yeah.
the game.
So, and I just bring all that up because again, that it's like that part did exist before. So, just in all fairness, I mean, it's kind of a continuation of those kind of principles in gaming.
Yeah.
But it's just more accessible now, just because, again, like I said, you have a community like the Elden Ring community that's mostly dedicated, full of most people in there that's dedicated to helping and helping you out whenever you need it.
And not trolling.
Well, you'll have your trollers, yeah. Now the funny thing is that because that's another thing I hear people talk about the community, for example, where it's like you either have a great experience where you're like, hey man, majority of them were great, or you have like a terrible experience where you're just like, man, they were all awful. And it's funny to me because I can see both sides of it. I can see where you might belong to a certain group, or you're just maybe a person that just has a thing about you that people can just get drawn to and just automatically like you. Whereas, if you're a person that maybe don't have that kind of personality, or you kind of, like sound like you're coming off some kind of way, then that might earn you vitriol. And I say that just from experience, playing like something like Call of Duty,
Oh
where
goodness.
like I would have friends that would be like, man, that's great. You get on there and people are just fun and nice to deal with, and I'm just like, what game are you playing? Like, I was
They
like,
they're playing a different night at a different time zone than what you play because you're playing
yeah, but
against the actual people. He's playing against Twilight people that don't exist.
yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong. I found a squad that I ran with, and it was fun. But like majority of the time, man, just trash talk,
Yeah,
just like we know. I don't have to go through it. We know the internet and it being such a
Oh
wonderful
yes,
it's
place.
toxicity.
especially Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my whole thing, where it's like people who made those declarations of, man, you saying this about the community, like, or Eldering or whatever community, and you don't know what you're talking about because they're all nice, and it's like, yeah, but if that's your experience, then hey, cool. But that doesn't mean that everybody else goes to that same thing, you
Yeah.
know. So, but I was that was kind of a funny thing too.
All right, so overall, what's our take on it? Do we feel like it needs to, well, the developers need to start thinking about adding some type of easy mode mechanics, or you feel like that let them stick to what they're doing and somewhat isolating only their core players to always buying their games because other people feel uncomfortable trying to learn it.
Um, well, I'll say this. I don't want to because I can go on all day, and I don't want to do that. So I I like the games as they are. And I said that earlier. So for me, I think it still should just be left to the developers to make the game that they intended to make.
Mm,
If they don't want to make it easy mode, I don't see any real reason why they should ever feel like they're forced to do so, right? I mean, I will say that they could take it in consideration and hear out the arguments for it, because maybe who knows, somebody can come up with a very good solution on the matter, that wouldn't really take them that much time to really implement.
Nice.
Whenever it kind of implement, I think I made a new word, guys.
you did make a new word, and I think you better go ahead and try to get a trademark on that.
I might, man. I mean, it's recorded now, so just kind of go back to the source, but but no, but implement that kind of change before the next game or whatever they're working on, or that they choose to work on comes out. So, but I think it just should be left up to developers to really just you know um, make the game how they envision it. Now, another thing I would say is for those who make the argument of, well, it sucks because I really want to witness the story of the game, then maybe they can look into, I don't know, get into some deals with some studios and finding a way to kind of bring it into like an anime, kind of in the anime space.
Yeah, I
The
could see that.
story. You know what I mean? And then kind of reach out to those folks, say, hey, sorry, this is kind of what we want to stick with. However, we got some exciting news. We're gonna have this be turned into an anime movie, or just anything
It worked with
like that.
Castlevania.
Yeah, see, yeah. So I mean, I feel like that can be a solution. I mean, I don't know if they're set up like that or any studio would be interested, but it could be a thought, or they can do it
Mm.
themselves. Maybe, I don't know.
What you think, kid?
Um, it's a good question. I definitely think whatever the developer thinks is best, I think is the right move. Kind of like we talked about on the last episode. It's I want them to make the game that they wanted to make, but
Hmm.
at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean that they can't put in that mode. There's ways to balance it and to make it work in the game and not kill the experience for everybody. So I don't see any reason why they definitely couldn't you know put those game modes in there if that's what they wanted to do and that's where they
Right.
wanted to put their resources. I'm not saying they need to cater to one way or the other. I just think that whatever uh, game they want to make, they should make, and I don't think if they did it right, it would hurt that game or any other game really.
hmm And follow
So
up to that. So with that said, when you made that statement, I was curious about this too. Let's say they decided the next game that comes out they decided they would go with the easy mode. Do you see this hurting? Well, do you see this kind of backfiring on them and making a lot of their fan base drop off with their games going forward?
No, I think I think the gatekeepers will be mad and angry, and they would get a lot of headlines and attention. But I think people would still buy it and play it, and then now it would be more of a comment instead of like yelling at people for playing it on easy mode. It'll be, or I'm sorry, yelling at people for wanting an easy mode. They'll be yelling at people for, wow, you played on normal. Wow, you played on easy. Ha, what a casual.
uh,
What a noob.
Yeah, yeah,
I think
yeah.
I
And
think
and
it'll
it,
be good.
no, and it's fun, and I'm glad you mentioned that because it's kind of like essentially like that with some games now, where you have those easy, normal, hard, and ultra hard or whatever. And like you said, you'll
Yeah.
get people who conquer those hard modes and then look at everybody else like, oh, you filthy casuals, or it's like, oh, Mister Easy Mode over here, baby Easy Mode. You
it's
know what I mean?
weird.
So,
I have never played a game where I sat back and look at someone else playing that same game and be like, you need to play it on this mode instead. Like, I don't care how you play it. Like,
mm-mm.
it does not bother me now. See, not to say that every gamer is a Karen. I'm just saying that people should just mind their business. Like,
Yeah.
if there's an easy mode, then you don't have to select it. Just play it the way you want to play it. It's just another option. It helps to include other people. So when they do play easy, they can say, oh, you know what? I want to try it now on hard mode.
hmm
And then I mean, that's to me just sounds like common sense. For the developers to say they don't want to do that because they have a reputation of making their games difficult, and that's fine. But I think after COVID hit and so many industries and markets got tanked because of profits and stuff weren't what they used to be, they're gonna
hmm
have to rethink how they develop games so they can include more people into wanting to buy their games because don't need to isolate people no more. Right now, the way the market is, you need as many people to look at your game and buy your game as possible. So, because the gaming industry is hurting, it's on. I mean, is that's a whole nother topic we can talk about another time. But yeah, I think they should add easy mode. Is the only thing I need to say on it. Just add it. It ain't gonna hurt the game. It's just gonna hurt people's egos. But egos, after a while, they just they'll learn, they'll grow, just like anything else.
Okay, I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
So last time we talked about pulling out your wallets to buy potentially Ubisoft. But fellas, I think we missed an opportunity here because I think somebody is has sold some properties, huh?
Yeah.
Some
Yeah, that's what the
studios.
rumblings out there are. Or not rumblings, really. It's been confirmed at this point, right?
Yeah, pretty
Pretty
much.
much. Yeah.
Square Enix has sold a couple developers, getting rid of some big franchises, Deus Ex, Tomb Raider,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah, that's right. Because Crystal Dynamics. Yep, you're right. And Eidos.
yeah, it
Yeah.
came out of
So
nowhere.
very much so. And what's even crazier was the price tag. At least
Yeah,
to
It
me.
wasn't that expensive, I don't think.
Not from the standpoint, especially from the acquisitions we've seen lately and stuff. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy
So
because
yeah,
it
this
was
should
like 330 million, right? That you know,
yeah, over
I don't
300
remember.
million.
I'm trying to remember the name of the group. Um, it was like some group full of millionaires or something. I can't remember the name of them right now. Y'all wouldn't happen to remember, do you?
no,
No.
I did
Yeah,
not come
it's not.
prepared for that one. I'm
That's
sorry.
not important. That's fine. It's not really that important. But yeah,
Dang.
it's just crazy. It's just crazy how because nobody. I mean, I don't know. I just never would have saw that coming, and it just makes me kind of curious as to the future of those titles that you mentioned. Tomb Raider and everything like that.
Yeah,
For the
cause
amount of money they spent, hmm, it's they didn't break the bank, so they can probably make a profit. They probably will go pretty hard into trying to just to make a return off those titles. We may start seeing those titles pop up a lot.
I hope so, cause I don't know about you guys, but I did like the new Deus Ex games that they came out with. Mankind Divided, Human Revolution,
Hmm.
whatever.
Mhm.
Um, uh, it gave us one of the best gaming memes of this generation. I didn't ask for this.
Oh, I forgot all about that.
Love that meme. Oh man, it's such a good meme. But no, I mean those were some good games. And then I didn't dabble too much in the new Tomb Raiders, but have heard good things and I have seen good things about them.
Yeah, they were pretty cool. I got to the third one, like maybe I want to say maybe a third of the way through, and I hadn't went back to it and played it. But I mean, it's not bad. I mean, I definitely would have definitely went through all of it if I had more time. But just kind of ran out of time that I used to have. But
Mm.
it was good. Like good experience at least for the most part. Not anything mind blowing, but just good enough. Like
Yeah.
okay,
But
passable.
sometimes that's all we need. We don't need this like big like mind blowing next game. We just need something that you know what? That was fun. That was a good
Yep.
time.
Agreed. Agreed.
I agree.
I agree with that. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, so Star, you do believe that they're gonna, potentially turn it around and kind of put more investment into it. That group or whoever bought those properties.
I mean, as an investor, why would you not? So I think it's common sense for a business standpoint to definitely not sit on those too long because you spent that kind of money for a reason. You want to make a return. See, yeah. I'm just hoping they don't cheapen the experience and start just making a bunch of mobile games and
Hmm.
doing a lot of those what do you call those things? Those pop toys with just their you know, those icons and stuff being used for just marketing for toys and stuff. I hope they try to keep the gaming industry alive with those IPs and just
Well,
make a better experience.
I got some
You
bad news for you.
yeah, I'm about to say you may know something here.
They
Uh-oh.
I mean, I don't know, anything guaranteed or nothing like that, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna see some mobile games or
Uh,
some kind of quick cash grab from this company with these new IPs. Yeah, as
and
much
it's
as I
gonna
want to
backfire.
believe they're gonna really flesh out these games and do a revival and really bring them back and all this and that. I don't know. I don't feel like we're gonna see that. I think these IPs might kind of be dead for now.
The
Mm.
first word that came to my mind when that came up, that news came up,
What's that?
pachinko.
Oh, Konami. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's what I was really worried about because I'm like, here you got a group that bought these properties with really no stated vision. You know what I mean? Like no kind of clear purpose for it, other than the fact that I think it was something about part of the deal was that Square Enix would get out of some debt. It's
Okay.
like what I mean. So with the limited information, it's just I don't know. I just had this part of me that's just cringe, just very cringed. Just got in this cringe mode about it, and like I said, pachinko just came to my mind. Like, oh God, no.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't blame you for thinking that because I mean it's sometimes what happens, especially when you see a developer sell or publisher just sell individual developers like that. You know what I mean? It's not like this company bought all of Square Enix; it just specifically purchased these developers. So it's it's scary to say the least. It's definitely scary, and you know we just talked about this about Ubisoft potentially being bought.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
what do y'all think? I mean, could Square Enix be next? The whole company being bought?
I've heard some talks about that. I mean, not enough. And before we go into that, the other part that worries me is that Square, I think their whole long term idea and goal was what like NFTs and
Yeah, I heard
cryptocurrency
that
matters and
too.
properties.
Yeah.
So and I guess that's perfect to kind of lead on to the conversation of what next, like what now, like especially when it comes to the future of gaming itself. Like, do we see more of this developing where more and more companies are going to feel like they have to do this, or is it going to affect games in a major way? I don't know. It's just a lot here, man. Like I mean, I know to most people they look at it as like, man, I mean, nobody was really worried about Square Enix that much, but I'm like, just for it to happen like out of nowhere and for them to make the statement of that NFT cryptocurrency stuff, it's just not a it's not a reassuring thing.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's reassuring because again, the newer generation of gamers understand the NFTs and everything, the crypto. So for them, they're being included into this new wave of games. But for the rest of us that kind of just think of games as being something you play and enjoy without making money off of it, it's a damper for us.
Mhm. And the thing is that even for those, I mean, the people who are in the NFTs is you know, I won't say the very few, but you know, especially in the gaming community, because the gaming community on a large part of it really doesn't want the NFT matters. I mean, you know, even developers and programmers out there are like, why? Like, this is not. We don't need this. We don't want it. And even now, I think there were studies showing that NFTs are losing a lot of steam. So
Yeah.
It's
I
always
just,
been a bubble, and it popped before it even started to grow.
mm.
I mean,
So it's just
yeah.
kind of weird that they make that kind of declaration of, you know, like, hey, I mean, it's almost as it kind of reeks of, hey, we're just going to try to do what we can to get most, you know, as much money as possible before we just finally give it all up or go belly up or whatever comes.
Yeah, Square Enix is definitely going in the wrong direction when it comes to NFTs. Because just the, and I'm actually proud of us gamers kind of coming together and really just saying, we don't want NFTs. Please stop.
Yes,
Because
yes, yeah,
I
just
mean, we
about every
said we didn't
company.
want loot boxes. That didn't stop them.
Well,
yeah,
yeah, because people bought that.
they
But
did.
at least with this, people kind of stood up and said, "Nah, we're not buying that. We're not doing this. We're not doing it. Just no." Um,
Mhm.
it's kind of telling. If EA isn't doing it, then you know it's a bad idea.
it's actually
Because
it's actually good.
EA surprisingly has not. I mean, I'm sure they mentioned something, but they have not come out with any NFTs to my knowledge, anyway.
Mhm. Yeah, I think they've been paying close attention to Ubisoft and
Oh yeah.
like, you
Yeah.
know what? It's like as much as we want to go out there on there, we're already the most hated company. So just
Yeah, don't need to push it any further.
Yeah, let's let
yeah,
that spotlight stay on y'all for a little bit. Yeah.
yeah, pretty much. It's like
So I
so
don't know. I think Square Enix is definitely having a lot of flops. I don't know if you guys have saw recently, but they released that game Babylon's Fall. Um, barely anybody plays it. I don't even know if you guys have heard about it because it's
it's so
yeah.
funny because I think I might have heard about it some time ago, but I didn't even know it came out. So
Yeah.
jeez, man.
That flopped. It got they released Chocobo Grand Cross or Grand Racing or some kind of like Mario Kart
Wow.
Chocobo game. And
Oh,
Who
that
that
was
asked
was
for
riddled.
that?
that.
Who
Yeah.
asked for that?
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. And that was riddled with microtransactions and a battle pass and it's just loot box or it might not have loot boxes, but it just a whole bunch of microtransactions and that was heavily criticized. And
uh,
then even just going back further, I mean, look at Marvel's Avengers.
oh goodness. And I wanted that game to be great. I really did think that the graphics and the first 30 minutes I think they showed of the game before it was released,
Mhm.
Yeah.
it looked so promising. And then it wasn't. They had no gameplay mechanics that was going to make you want to go back and play it over and over again. It was nothing about that game worth. It's
Yeah.
not to knock it. I'm sorry if anyone out there loved the game. By all means, we all have our opinions. I
Yeah.
just felt like it was a very lazy game with some great ideas.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll be honest, I was always distrustful over it, even when I saw that gameplay, because the footage, like you said, Star, it did look great. You know, I'm not going to deny that, right? But I always just kind of had that, just you know, concern over the balance of the game, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Especially when you have the character switches, and you're like, hey, I can be Iron Man and Thor, but now I'm Captain America, and it's like no disrespect to Captain America, but it's like when you're Iron Man zooming through the skies and doing whatnot, and you know, like beaming everybody, but then you swap off to Captain America. It's just I don't know. I always felt like that's just they're gonna have something really unique about it to where it makes it really fun for that to happen. But outside of that, I don't know.
Y'all want to know where they lost me?
What's
When
that?
During I think it was the announcement or one of the showcases before it came out. They made a point during the conference to boast about how the game won't have loot boxes.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
And from there, I was like, great. Yep, I already know what this game is going to be about. And they went back on that promise
Oh yeah, naturally.
later on, of course. So
I mean,
they kind of lost me there.
when I looked at the menu and the way that they had it to where you can get some of your gear and upgrades, it looked like they copied from Destiny. Like a lot of the things that you were doing in that game to progress your character, it felt like they copied a lot from Destiny. And I'm like,
Hmm.
this is not that type of game that needs any mechanics from Destiny. Why are you doing this?
That's a good
Yeah.
point, and I think that's that to your point. A lot of people had issues with that too. Like the whole loot thing, and hey, let me find this item to make my character more powerful. I was like,
Like,
I'm Hulk. Like, what do you mean?
Black Panther. What are you talking about? I just
Yeah,
finished.
And
I
not only that, but the loot that you did get was not cosmetic.
no.
So all it did was just made numbers go bigger, and it was like cool. But I want to I want my character to look different and cooler each time I get a new piece of equipment. Like, come on,
right, right.
the whole point
So
of gear.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I feel you, kid. And to kind of echo what you said. Well, not really echo, but to say where they lost me. I'll never forget whenever I saw I think it was a Verizon ad for the game where it's like
Oh
if you do
yeah,
something with Verizon, you get their skins, and I was like, oh, bro, like I was
yeah.
so checked out. You don't
I
even
remember
understand.
that. I
Yeah,
remember that.
I was so done. I was like, okay, yeah,
They were so
yeah,
ugly too. Like they weren't even
yeah.
dope looking.
At all, man. I was just like, what is like? This is so. I
I mean, no
mean,
offense to Verizon. If you want to sponsor us, please sponsor. But just the costumes themselves, I was like, this is so basic looking. Like, ew.
yeah. I mean, it's just a representation of it too. It's like you got a bunch of heroes wanting to dress like Verizon to fit that. I'm like, I don't. I'm so lost. Like, I don't get
Yeah,
it.
it's weird. It's weird.
So shout out to Verizon though. I mean, they they've been pretty reliable, right?
Please sponsor us.
That's all that was too, right? I had nothing else. Just so reliable.
Oh
Remember,
man.
folks, Verizon Wireless. You heard it here.
Well, hold on, calm down. They gotta sponsor us first.
Got it
Yeah.
right. I'm joke. It was jokes, but you're right. We're in that kind of world where people, they hear that and like, oh snap, he was saying we were sponsored by Verizon. They were sponsored by Verizon. So you're right. You're right. Just
All
jokes,
right.
folks. Just jokes.
Always jokes around here. But all right, folks. I think that was a pretty good one.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I'm surprised you didn't want to
Always.
talk about the last thing.
Nope, we gotta cut it short on this one, man.
I was gonna say, did you not see
I
the
was
message?
saying, we
I
went
did. I
over
did.
our yeah.
Got you. Got
So I
you.
figure we could
People
save that
people
to
gotta
next time.
eat. People
Got
get
you.
on
I
Just
top of
to
their
forgot. I forgot,
game.
man. You give those hungry texts. Got it.
Yeah.
well, just to whet people's appetite, like Star's appetite is right now. Uh, as we approach the summer, we know E3 isn't happening, but we
Hmm.
do know that Xbox is still having their game showcase in June. So next time, maybe we can spend a couple minutes and just kind of speculate and gossip and see what we think they might show or might not show.
Yeah.
Translation. Just tune in for Star to see how much trash he's gonna talk about him.
Oh
You don't want to
yes.
miss it.
Whoa. I am
Oh yeah.
open to Microsoft actually being a great company. It just hasn't happened yet, but we'll see.
Dang. Dang.
See that?
Oh
What did I say,
man.
ladies and gentlemen? Just a little teaser right there.
All right.
Make
Well,
sure
on
y'all
that
tune in.
note,
Yeah,
thank you everybody.
yeah, man. It was a good
Yeah,
one, man. So,
it was. It was.
Indeed.
so guess we'll catch y'all all in the next time.
Oh yeah. We'll keep it as an easy mode for everybody so they can listen in.
Nice. Nice. I love it. Let's
Oh,
get
people
it.
gonna come after us for that one, but yeah, let's go. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. Peace.